Here are 3 harmless things that can actually kill you. Number 1, 22 apples. You see, apple seeds have a toxic chemical in it called cyanide, and if you eat too many, you will die. Number 2, 120 cups of coffee. If you didn't already know, coffee has caffeine in it, and if you drink too much caffeine, your heart will explode. And number 3, toothpaste. If you were to swallow a whole tube of toothpaste, you can get fluoride poisoning, which could lead to a coma or even death.
Crazy things kids did in school. At Jake's school, during lunch, kids have the option of carrots or fruit. About a month ago, him and his friend decided to walk around the lunchroom during lunch and collect bags of carrots. Eventually, they started doing this every single day, and people started helping them. Some days, they would walk out of the lunchroom with 40 bags of carrots. They would then take these carrots and stuff them into a locker that no one ever used. Well, a week later, when they were checking on the carrot locker, a teacher was behind them. The teacher immediately saw what they were doing, but what she did to them next is unbelievable. So there was about 150 bags of carrots in this locker. And here's a clip of the carrot bust.
48586. Oh my god.
Everyone involved was suspended for 2 whole weeks. Comment if you agree with this.
These are some of the craziest things that people have found underneath their beds. In 2021, a man named Gil Wilson came across one of the most deadliest spiders in the world. While staying at a nature reserve in Ecuador, he found 1,000 little spiders crawling all over his bed. But when he looked under his bed, he quickly saw why. He saw the mama spider with a 7-inch leg span known as the Brazilian wandering spider. A single bite from this beast can cause nausea, vision loss, burning, and even death. This is the case of Josh Dinning. In 2017, Michelle Dinning reported her son Josh missing at around 9:15 a.m. Police were scouring the area and everybody was looking for Josh, but they just couldn't find him. After several long hours with no success, Michelle decided to search the house one last time. So they went into his room and looked under his bed and they found his body. But don't worry, he was still alive. It turns out he just didn't want to go to school that day.
The weirdest things people did as kids. When Kyle was 9 years old, he was taking a bath, but he accidentally took a dump in the bathtub. So he got out, got dressed, and tried to figure out what he was gonna do. But then he got an idea. You see, there was a hole in the wall of his bathroom that had been there for ages. So he scooped up the poo and threw it inside the hole in the wall. He then went on with his day and didn't tell anyone about it. Years went by and no one ever found out what he did. But one day, about 15 years after the initial poop incident, Kyle came home from college to visit his parents. He goes to the bathroom and notices the hole in the wall is magically patched up. He asked his dad and apparently they were selling the house. So a month earlier, he had repaired the hole. A week later, they sold the house and no one ever found out. And that mummified poop behind the wall is probably still there to this day. Here are 4 things you didn't know the use of. Number 1, the blue side of an eraser. Now you've probably heard this is for erasing pen marks, but it's actually meant for erasing shavings left over from the red side. Number 2, you know those little holes at the end of every ruler? No, they don't exist for you to make perfect little circles in your notebook. They're actually there to make it easier to hang up. Number 3, you know the holes on the side of the Converse shoes? Most people think it's for style or to use the laces to tighten your shoe, but it's neither. They're only there to provide ventilation for the shoe. Number 4, you know those little pockets inside your jeans? Well, they were actually invented by Levi's in the 1800s. They're supposed to make it easier to carry a pocket watch. These are the weirdest things ever found in the desert. Up first is this alien-like creature found in the desert, and no one knows where it came from. Next, people have been finding abandoned ships in the middle of the Sahara Desert. The weird thing is there isn't any water for thousands of miles, so how did they get there? And how did these pyroglyphs appear in the middle of the desert? They've been forming for years and no one knows why. And who remembers that monolith that showed up in the middle of the Utah desert? What's going on? These are the strangest things ever caught on camera. This security footage from Alaska shows what appears to be a Men in Black agent talking to the store's receptionist. Unfortunately, there's no audio in this clip, but what the man says to the woman appears to alarm her. She reaches into her drawer, pulls out a gun, and aims it at the man. But all the man does is remain calm, lift his hand, tilt it, and then put his hand back down right on the desk. This seemed to put the woman in some sort of trance as she put the gun down and gave him a mysterious package. This next video shows a woman in China shopping when an item behind her mysteriously falls down.
She then proceeds to pick it up and put it back on the shelf. But immediately after doing this, she begins acting very strangely, as if she's being possessed. She then falls to the ground and freaks out as if she's in extreme pain. People were trying to help, but that's when she let out a ghostly scream, causing the security camera to glitch and items to fly off the shelves.
The most insane things teachers did in school. This teacher has a thing he does whenever he loses control of his class. He'll literally grab a stapler and say, "Anyone want to put a stapler in my hand?" The physical pain is nothing compared to how I feel right now, when all I want to do is help you reach your full potential, but you literally don't care. And there's usually that one kid in the class who will say, "Yeah, I'll put that stapler in your hand." That's when he'll walk up to them, put his hand on the desk, and give the kid the stapler, saying, "Do it." The students usually give a nervous giggle and pretend to do it, but they never actually do. The teacher tried this one too many times, and one day, a kid actually stapled his hand. But he didn't freak out or anything. He just calmly looked at his hand, asked, "Did that really just happen?" Pulled the staple out while blood trickled down his hand, and asked the class, "Are we done?" All the kids were completely shocked. And the kid who did it felt so bad that he dropped out of the class days later.
Here are some everyday things that I guarantee you're doing wrong. Next time you get one of those cardboard cup carriers from a restaurant, don't just place it on the seat or on the ground. It could easily spill that way. Instead, line it up and place it in your cup holder. It's specifically designed to do that. Now, you've been microwaving your food wrong your entire life. You know how the food is always heated unevenly? All you have to do to get it even is place your food all around your plate in a ring with a hole in the middle. And this one you're probably guilty of, but showering every day is actually bad for you. Dermatologists recommend showering only 2 to 3 times a week. If you shower too much, this could lead to hair and skin problems. And every time your phone charges to 100%, you need to take it out. Charging your phone all the way can wear out the battery way quicker and even ruin it. And next time you want to cool down a drink, don't just put it in the fridge. Put it in the freezer instead with a wet paper towel over it, and it will be the perfect temperature in 2 minutes. Disturbing things caught on security cameras. This 2018 footage shows a woman setting up a security camera after hearing strange sounds right outside her bedroom window. The recording shows a man walking up to her bedroom window and trying to look inside. A few seconds later, he noticed the camera and walked away. But only minutes later, he would return and steal the camera. The woman believes this man had been looking into her window at night for at least 3 weeks. The grossest things actors had to do for a role. In Game of Thrones, actress Emilia Clarke was forced to eat a horse heart on set. It wasn't actually a horse heart, but she was promised it would taste like candy. Needless to say, it did not taste like candy. She said it tasted like jam mixed with bleach. But the worst part is that they had to redo this scene 28 times just to get it right. That's 28 horse hearts down the hatch. Also in Game of Thrones is actress Sophie Turner. At the end of season 5, producers told her she was no longer allowed to wash her hair. They wanted to make the scenes look more authentic. She had to go 2 years without washing her hair once. It got so bad that during the fake snow scenes, paper snow would get stuck in her hair and she wouldn't be able to get it out for days. But before I show you the most disgusting one, I found an app that unlocks you all the secret TV shows and movies on Netflix. Just press the link in my comments if you want to unlock your Netflix. Kate Winslet wanted to be perfect for the entire filming of Titanic. This resulted in her taking bathroom breaks in water tanks on set.